Hello, Durudin Shalom. Guys, things are escalating. The prince just came out with a major call to action, as you know. And just a few hours ago, he also came out with a message to the armed forces. Let's actually show that first. Actually, that is more important than this video that I was about to show. Let's go through that. How's my audio? Have you liked the stream? Guys, things in the next 24 hours, everything is going to change in Iran in the next 24 hours because of what the prince said right here. So let me actually bring it on. So, oh yeah, I have to remove this one. Then I have to this one. Add this one to the screen. Hold up. So let me know if you've heard the prince. So let me know if you've seen this video. This is very important because the prince is asking, finally, he came out. Like we have been waiting for this. The prince came out and basically came up with the exact date and the exact hour that he is calling upon the Iranian people to come into the streets. And this is going viral everywhere on social media. The Iranian people are watching this in the millions, and hopefully, they will also respond to this call to action in the millions. And let me see, what is the time right now in Iran? Right now, everything. Okay, it's 9:30 p.m. right now in Iran. So 9:30 p.m. on a Wednesday, the prince has asked the Iranian people to come out all together on Thursday, 8 p.m. into the streets. So we have less than 24 hours. So less than 23 hours, actually. So let's actually look at his message. This is the major news right now among Iranians. Everybody is trying to get everybody else to see this video. And anybody that hasn't come to the streets, they're trying to get them to come to the streets. This is the moment. If the Iranian people respond to this, we will see in the next 24 hours if the Iranian people will respond to this or not. Let me see who's in the... Okay, so my audio is good. You guys are saying, okay, you haven't seen it. Okay, so yeah, Nail Bunny is 9:30 there. So yeah, let's actually listen to the prince and his message. So saying, my dear compatriots, over the last week, I have watched your demonstrations closely. Do you have the prince's audio? You can hear him, right? Particularly those that are taking place today in the bazaars of Tehran. Despite the regime's ongoing violent crackdown, you are resisting, and it is inspiring. You have certainly noticed and seen the larger crowds have repeatedly led regime forces to flee. Yes, by the way, guys, there's a new video today. I should go find it, that the regime forces are fleeing. So yeah, the more you are, the more they flee, and saying and have even increased defections into the side of the people. So yeah, we're seeing them flee. We see the armed forces fleeing, but some of them are also taking the sides of the people. Both of those are increasing. Therefore, it is critical to keep these demonstrations disciplined and as large as possible. Today, I am sharing my first call to action with you. This Thursday and Friday, January 8th and January 9th, starting precisely at 8 p.m. Wherever you are, wherever in the streets, whether in the streets or even from your own homes, I call you to begin chanting exactly at this time, at 8 p.m. Based on your response, I will announce the next calls to action.
من فراخوان‌های بعدی رو به شما اعلام خواهم کرد.
So this is key because he's going to decide what the second call to action is going to be based on how well people respond to the first call to action. Okay, so we got this video earlier, but then just a few hours ago we got a new video. Has anybody seen this? This is, I think, from 5 hours ago. Have you guys seen this one? So the first video was to the Iranian people to come into the streets at 8 p.m. tomorrow, which is in 23 hours. And this is now the second video. Guys, have you seen this one? So this one, the second video, is to the armed forces. So this one is directed at the armed forces. So let's watch the second video. Let me see. Can this get bigger? Nope. All right, so let's watch this one.
این پیامی مستقیم خطاب به نیروهای مسلح و امنیتی.
Okay, I can't read the text because it's too small, so I'm just going to translate it based on my own understanding. I'm going to do my own translation.
این پیامی مستقیم خطاب به نیروهای مسلح و امنیتی.
So he's saying this is a direct message to the armed and security forces.
ایران است. شما که لباس نظامی بر تن کرده اید.
You who are wearing military uniforms, all the people with military uniforms.
تا از ملت ایران دفاع کنید.
So that you protect the Iranian nation. So he's saying that you put up your uniform is meant to be for you to protect the people, not the Islamic. That's what he means. Okay, so you who put on your uniform to protect the nation.
و اینک در معرض یک انتخاب تاریخی قرار دارید.
You are now facing a historical choice.
در روزهایی که مردم شجاع و متحد ایران در حال ساختن و نوشتن تاریخ هستند.
In these days that the united people of Iran are writing their history.
پرسش من از شما این است که
My question for you is this.
در کدام سوی تاریخ خواهید ایستاد؟
Which side of history are you going to stand on?
در کنار جنایتکاران یا در کنار مردم؟
On the side of the criminals or on the side of the people?
مسئله دیگر این نیست که جمهوری اسلامی این رژیم فاسد و سرکوبگر سقوط خواهد کرد.
The issue is no longer whether or not the Islamic this corrupted and evil regime and oppressing regime will fall or not.
یا نه. مسئله فقط زمان سقوط آن است.
The issue is now when will it fall? So he's saying the regime is definitely falling. The issue is now when is that going to happen?
و آن زمان از همیشه نزدیکتر است.
And that moment is closer than ever.
در این لحظه های سرنوشت ساز
in these crucial moments
از شما انتظار دارم
I expect you
که به آغوش ملت بازگردید
to join the arms of your nation
و سلاح خود
to come back into the arms of your nation
را نه برای شلیک به مردم که برای حفاظت از آنها به کار گیرید.
And to use your weapons not to shoot at people but to protect the people.
با این کار نه تنها به وظیفه ملی خود عمل خواهید کرد که از آینده
By doing this, not only you are doing your national duty, but you are also
و خانواده‌هایتان نیز محافظت خواهید
you're also protecting yourself and your family.
کرد. 6 ماه پیش پلتفرم همکاری ملی را به عنوان کانال
6 months ago, I started a platform, the platform of national cooperation. I started this platform.
اعلام وفاداری به مردم برای شما ایجاد کردم.
I created this secure platform for you, the armed forces, so that you could use it to
اعلام وفاداری به مردم
so that you could pledge your loyalty to people using this platform.
برای شما ایجاد کردم. هزاران تن از شما در آن ثبت نام کردید.
Thousands of you registered on that platform.
اینک با آغاز دوباره خیزش ملی ایران و حجم بالای درخواست‌ها
Now that the people are with the people's movement again and the large volume of people requesting,
جدید این پلتفرم ارتقا پیدا کرده
this platform has been upgraded
تا اطمینان حاصل شود که هر یک از شما پاسخ فوری دریافت می‌کنید.
so that we could be sure that every single one of you from the armed forces that uses the platform, you will receive a response immediately.
اگر قبلا ثبت نام کرده اید و پاسخی دریافت نکرده اید، از شما می‌خواهم دوباره اقدام کنید.
If you had registered before and you have not received a response, I ask you to register again.
در حال حاضر همچنان تنها راه امن ثبت نام اسکن کردن QR کد در زمان پخش زنده از تلویزیون ایران اینترنشنال.
So as of right now, just like before, the only way to register is to use the QR code on Iran International's live show. So this is very important. This is my words, by the way, because they want to make sure that there are no fake QR codes and there are not videos that have been manipulated with a different QR code. So the only QR codes that they're supposed to use is when the show is live on Iran International and the QR code is there while it's live. So yeah. Or in the live show, the QR code in their live show.
این آخرین فرصت شماست.
This is your last chance. This is your last opportunity. By the way, guys, the reason why they do that is because they need to make it very secure so that because it's the armed forces defecting and joining the people. So that's why they have to be very, very secure about the process in which they're joining the people.
تا به ملت بپیوندید.
So this is your last chance to join the people.
سرنوشت خود را از کشتی در حال غرق شدن جمهوری اسلامی جدا کنید.
And to separate your destiny from the sinking ship that is the Islamic Republic.
سرکوبگران ملت و آنها که به سوی مردم گلوله میزنند
those who oppress the nation and those who shoot at the people
مطمئن باشند که شناسایی و مجازات خواهند شد.
Be assured that you will be identified and you will be punished.
آنها که در کنار ملت ایران بایستند مورد احترام و تجلیل ملی قرار خواهند گرفت.
Those who join the side of the people, they will be respected and they will be celebrated.
پاینده ایران.
Long live Iran. All right, so these are the two messages that the prince put out there, and the first one, by the way, is going viral everywhere. Just go look on his Instagram and it's crazy, like the amount of views that this is getting. We got a super chat. Thank you, saying like, subscribe to Atheist Republic, free Iran. Yes, free Iran. Thank you so much for that. Let's go actually see how Western media is covering this, and let's actually see if they're covering it correctly or not, and let's analyze this together to see if they're getting everything right. I appreciate that Fox News is I actually haven't seen this yet. I'm going to watch it with you guys. Have you guys seen this? Let me know, and yeah, let's just respond to this together. And I appreciate that Fox News actually brought the prince. This is big. This is very recent. Like this just happened a few hours ago, 14 hours ago, and this is really good because Trump watches Fox News. So let's watch this.
All right, we turn our attention back to Iran tonight. We're getting multiple reports. The radical government there is now potentially on the verge of collapse. Here with reaction, the leader of the Iranian opposition, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, is with us. Reza, good to talk to you again. Welcome back. Thank you for being with us. Okay, for those that don't know, you were born in Iran. The Shah of Iran, deposed by the Ayatollah Khomeini in that revolution, what was it, 1976 or 7? And
1976?
in
You mean 1979?
deposed by the Ayatollah Khomeini in that revolution. What was it, 1976 or 7?
79.
And Iran has been a brutal, murdering theocracy ever since. What are your sources telling you within Iran is going on there?
Well, Sean, first of all, thank you for having me on your program. It's been too long since we last spoke. Look, in all these years, I've never seen an opportunity as we see today in Iran. The Iranian people are more than ever committed to bring an end to this regime, as the world has witnessed in the last few days. The level of demonstrations unprecedented in Iran, over 100 cities and millions of people on the street chanting death to the dictator, an end to this regime. And by God, it is about time that Iran gets its opportunity to free itself from a tyrannical regime.
I saw reports on social media and video on social media. You can't confirm it, but it looked pretty real to me. Maybe you can confirm it for me. Of police on the roof of police stations,
Right,
laying down their arms, showing solidarity with the protesters. Are you getting reports? Is that accurate? And do you have any intelligence that that Ali Khamenei is in fact, does he have a plan B to go to Russia?
Sean, one thing that is significant, and I would like to draw the attention of those who have followed what happened in Iran nearly half a century ago, the role that the bazaar, which is the traditional bourgeoisie, plays in Iranian politics. And today we've seen unprecedented scenes in the Iranian bazaar of merchants and joining with the protesters. And it has been my strategy to call upon the military personnel and people, the armed forces, to lay down their arms and join with the people, to be part of the solution, to be able to have an exit strategy we offer them as a national reconciliation. We see that quite evident. And this is very important because when you're facing an extremely brutal regime, and when we think of the post-collapse stability of a smoother transition, it will be impossible without the tacit cooperation and collaboration of the military forces. The fact that they have heeded my call, and I've sent them another message of clarify your position, you're either with the people or stand vis-a-vis them. We are beginning to see more and more defections. I launched this campaign about 6 months ago. We have received tens of thousands of applicants who would like to join. It's not just limited to the military and paramilitary forces, Sean. It also includes the civil bureaucracy, people.
guys, this is so important. There's most revolutions succeed when the armed forces join the side of the people. This is basically, they call it, 0 hour. I don't know if they call it in English as well, but we call it Saat Sifr. It's the moment when the size of the people in the streets have become too many for the anti-riot police, or like when they look at the size of the crowds, they decide that this is nothing they could do about it, and they either just stop attacking the people or join the side of the people. That's the moment. That's the second that you know that the revolution has been successful. So this is why the prince is constantly focusing on the armed forces and inviting them to join the people. That's why he is zeroing on that. Like, that's his main priority. His main priority is not, asking for other countries to come and help, even though that would be appreciated as long as there's no boots on the ground. His main priority is to use the size of the people in the streets to get the armed forces to either lay down their weapons or just use their weapons to protect the people. That is the prince's #1 priority.
Our work in government ministries, all of them be part of the solution that will end up bringing this regime to its knees. Now, as to Khamenei's status and whether he's ready to bail out, who knows? But either way, the regime is crumbling and is very close to collapsing.
What part of President Trump dismantling their nuclear program do you believe played a part in this rising rebellion, #1? And #2, are you planning to go back to Iran? You have not been there in many, many years. It was 1979 when the Ayatollah came back. He was in exile in France at the time. Do you plan on going back? Do you plan on having free elections? Have you thought about it?
Sean, at the call of my compatriots, I've stepped forward to lead this transition from this tyranny to a future democracy. My role is to help my compatriots achieve that goal.
Wait, hold on. Oh my God.
To bring about a peaceful end by means of a national referendum and a constitutional assembly.
Why are they putting a music here? Oh, because the segment is almost ending? What the hell?
My role is to help my compatriots achieve that goal, to bring about a peaceful end by means of a national referendum and a constitutional assembly. I'm impartial as to what the ultimate result will be, so long as it's a secular democracy. I've trained all my life to serve my nation. I'm there.
So that's very, very key. Okay, so everybody, a lot of idiots think that the prince's agenda is to bring monarchy back to Iran. The prince's agenda is to get the Iranian people to be able to choose what they want, as long as it's a form of a secular democracy. A secular democracy could come in the form of a republic or a constitutional monarchy. And the Iranian people will have a referendum and they will decide which type of government they want. And both of them are, both a republic and a constitutional monarchy, have the capacity of being a secular democracy. So those are the things. Here are the things that Prince Reza Pahlavi wants for Iran. For it to be a secular democracy, for our border integrity to be protected. And okay, so when you say secular democracy, the secular part is key. Iranian people, including the prince, wants the future of Iran to be secular and democratic. And we also want human rights and equal rights among all citizens, and basically all the classical liberal values. Those are the things that we want. What the structure of the government, we will decide that in a referendum after we free Iran. We will vote between a republic and a constitutional monarchy. And so the prince is not fighting for a monarchy. He's fighting for Iranian peoples, for the sovereignty of the Iranian people, so that they could decide what they want for Iran. So this is very key. Like, a lot of people a lot of Western media don't understand that. They think the prince is just fighting to come back to Iran and become king. Okay, so no, he's not fighting for that. He's fighting for Iranian people to decide what they want.
Democracy. I've trained all my life to serve my nation. I'm there to serve and help them achieve that goal. And I'm more than ever ready to step in Iran as soon as the situation warrants itself. And I'll be there with my compatriots to lead the ultimate battle.
So it's interesting because a lot of people are wondering whether he will go to Iran, which is interesting because a lot of other people accuse him of doing all of this to become a dictator or become the king. But other people are wondering if he even wants to go back to Iran. So which is it? The answer is he will go back to Iran, but he will go there to serve, and he will take the role that Iranian people ask him to take. All his life, he has been fighting for getting the Iranian people their control over their own destiny. So bring sovereignty back to the Iranian people, give the control over their future, over their representative, the structure of the government, the laws that governing them to be their choice. That's what he has always been fighting for.
Reza Pahlavi, thank you so much for being with us, and I pray for freedom for the people of Iran. We're not at war with them.
Click here to...
Well, no. Okay, hold on. We got this whole Russia thing. I hear more people talking about Khamenei going to Russia, and honestly, I don't believe it. Do you guys believe it? Like, let me see, because I saw this video. Some people are saying Khamenei had fled to Russia, and I even saw. Hold on, who's saying this? This video got almost 1 million views on YouTube. I mean, guys, during the Master Revolution, they mentioned Khamenei died at least 8 times, and sometimes they say that sometimes they say that just to make people go back home, just to make people feel like, oh, we won, so let's just go home. So we have to be careful with this one. But let's just watch this and see what people are saying.
In 1979, massive protests forced the Shah of Iran to flee the country, changing the Middle East forever. Today, history might be repeating itself in reverse. Ayatollah Khamenei, now 85 years old, is reportedly planning to flee to Russia as his security forces struggle to contain a movement.
Oh, planning to flee to Russia. Okay, so a lot of people are saying he has fled to Russia, but and he hasn't. There's no evidence for that, and I don't understand how he's going to go to Russia. He's too anti-Israeli to go to. There's a difference between. I mean, I don't know. Anything is possible, but the difference between Khamenei and Assad is Assad was never as anti-Israeli as Khamenei. And Russia and Israel have a decent relationship, given how many Israelis are from Russia, right? And how many Jews are in Russia. So Russia and Israel have not the best relationship, but a decent relationship. And it's really hard for me to see Putin agreeing to give refuge to such a Jew hater, somebody who his plan was to wipe out Israel. So accepting Assad is one thing, but accepting Khamenei, whose goal was to destroy Israel, and giving him refuge is too anti-Israeli for Russia, I think. I don't know. I think the main destination of the mullahs, if the regime falls, was supposed to be Venezuela. Doesn't seem like they put most of their eggs in the Venezuela basket when it comes to plan B if the regime falls. And now that Venezuela, that doesn't seem like that was not a good bet. So maybe that's why they're considering Russia.
That just will not die. Iran is panicking, and Iranian parliament is
Iran is not panicking. Iran is rising. It's the Islamic Republic who's panicking.
Will not die. Iran is panicking, and Iranian parliament is now threatening US bases in the Middle East as a last resort. So here is how we got here. On December 28th, the Iranian currency collapsed. So at first, the electronic vendors in Iran went on strike because they buy and sell imported electronics. But when the currency is in free fall, that's a hard business to carry out. So they were protesting against government policy and the economic crisis. But very quickly, these protests grew into something much, much bigger. Now, people are protesting about everything, and they're calling for the death of the dictator. Take a listen.
Okay, let's see if he mentions Pahlavi. Oh, wait. Holy shit, that's the wrong translation. Guys, look at this. So they're saying Marg bar dictator, which means death to the dictator. So now they're saying Marg bar Khamenei, which means death to Khamenei. So first of all, that's the wrong translation. They're saying death to Khamenei, not death to the dictator, but it gets worse. And now they're saying in آخرین نبرد پهلوی برمیگرده, which means that this is the final battle and Pahlavi will return. But on the screen, it's just writing death to the dictator. Okay, that's a mistranslation. This video got 1 million views on YouTube. 1 million views. And the people are clearly chanting that Pahlavi will return. And this motherfucker is just writing death to the dictator on the screen. What the fuck?
Now, as you can see,
I hope it gets better. I hope this video mentions Pahlavi at some point. Let's hope.
From the clip on your screen, these protests started growing at a very fast rate. In fact, as of January 4th last
Guys, it's really important. That completely misrepresents what these protests are about. The protests are not about just removing the Islamic Republic. The entire identity, the entire DNA of these protests are about returning Pahlavi. It's about bringing Pahlavi to Iran. And the Iranian people are not going to be satisfied by just removing the Islamic Republic, because every other alternative other than Pahlavi is the same ideology that started the 1979 Islamic Revolution. It's the same anti-imperialism, anti-Zionism, leftist bullshit, leftist Islamic bullshit, isolationist, anti-colonial fucking bullcrap that started the 1979 Islamic Revolution. So it's not about just removing the Islamic Republic. Is making sure that the replacement is Pahlavi, so that we don't have to go through this over and over again.
night, the protests have been confirmed in over 108 towns and cities across Iran. Every single day, more and more towns are joining in. Now, the timing of this is also not very good for the Iranian leadership. And I don't mean that just in the geopolitical term. I also mean that in like the age term. The supreme leader is 85 years old, and he's likely declining in physical and mental health. Well,
guys, if I was a believer in God, I would be praying for his health right now. And I'm not joking. We need Khamenei to stay alive, okay? Because he's the only thing that is holding back the people who are trying to keep the Islamic Republic alive by doing a rebranding, okay? Please, Mossad, America, IDF, if you want to kill anybody, go at Rouhani. Just let this man stay alive for just a little bit longer. He's right now he's working in our favor. Right now, Khamenei is working in our favor by holding back the reformers, and the reformers are trying to, like, it's a trap. Like, the reformers have been trying to make it so that either America or Israel come out and take out Khamenei so that they could rebrand the Islamic Republic into the Third Republic. And that would be devastating, okay? Just leave Khamenei to the Iranian people. Please do not kill Khamenei. Leave him to the... He will face justice. The Iranian people, he needs to face justice by the Iranian people, okay? If you're going to come and kill anybody, go after Rouhani. This man needs to be alive for just a little bit longer, okay? Don't touch this guy. And I hope he's healthy. I hope he doesn't die. Just wait, okay?
well, that plays a big role. Just take a listen.
You mentioned the Supreme.
Like, this is very important. Oh my God, why do they have... Okay, this is very important for all of you to understand. It's very important for all of you to understand, because if the Islamic Republic falls and Pahlavi doesn't return, we're going to be having to deal with this all over again, because the military infrastructure, the IRGC, their ideology, their control over Iran's economy, and their control over their military forces that they have will remain in place. They're just going to do a new paint job. They're just going to put lipstick on a pig. They're going to let women wear what they want. They're going to let people drink alcohol. They're going to let people go to concerts, dance, and do all of that. But they're not going to let the privatizations of our industries. They're not going to let IRGC is not going to let go of their share of Iran's economy. They're not going to dismantle their military that is actually involved also in politics and in industries. There's going to be no political freedom. There's not going to be any economic freedom. There's just going to be a few social freedoms that they are just lending you, and they could just easily take it away. And that's not what we want, and that's not what you want. It's going to be the same anti-imperial, anti-Zionist people, but just they're going to hide it better compared to before. And then you're going to have to face with all of this nonsense again 10 years down the road. So Pahlavi is the answer. Pahlavi is the answer. And this motherfucker on the screen right now, he's actually holding the reformers back, which is good. Okay, so let him keep doing that. If you kill him without taking out the rest of the system, this is this is the dream of the reformers right now. They are trying to sacrifice. They have signaled to Israel to come and kill this man, and they will take charge, and everything is going to be better after. Okay, and they have created all the infrastructure and the networks and the planning for his replacement if you kill him. But the reformers are way, way, way more dangerous and cunning and clever than the hardliners. But they're still they're a bigger problem than the hardliners. So let this man live until the Iranian people succeed in the revolution. Let the Iranian people, and we will deal with him. Okay, you don't need to deal with him. This is our revolution. If you want to help us out, just like maybe scare the shit out of the anti-riot police somehow, okay, so that the Iranian people could do their revolution. That's the only help. That's how you could provide help. Just somehow scare the shit out of the anti-riot police, but then let the Iranian people do their own revolution. Okay, no boots on the ground, no killing Khamenei. Let us take care of him. Oh, hold up, we got a BT June saying, in honor of the haters in the chat. I'm not going to read that hashtag because YouTube might think I'm saying something. Okay, but thank you. Oh, no, I thought you were saying something else. Jew money. Yay, Jew money. Thank you. I'm funded by Jews. Thank you. I'm Zionist funded. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I thought that was something else.
Well, that plays a big role. Just take a listen.
You mentioned the supreme leader. I got to point out at this point.
Oh, somebody wants to debate in the chat. Here, don't worry. You could come and debate me in our discussion group. You could come and debate me and other people. We have a discussion group that you could join, and we're gonna go there in about an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, you could look in the calendar, look at the green events. You could come into that group and debate me and other people there. So I put the link to our discussion group in the chat. The link is also in the description. That's where we hang out after the show. Anyways, let me see what this Zakaria guy is saying, because I want to see if he has a correct take here or not.
That is another.
And mental health. Well, that plays a big role. Just take a listen.
You mentioned the supreme leader. I got to point out at this point, that is another possible kind of variable that could shift everything, right? The guy is what, 85 years old, longest serving.
Hey, guys, Iranians in the chat, is this not a Nayak person? I forgot. Is this not like a Nayak person? Can you? Any Iranians in the chat, write in Persian so I can know that you are Iranian. Like, is this guy not from Nayak or Nayak affiliated?
Dictator in the world right now, in fairly bad health. Does that matter that he, you know, or are really the Revolutionary Guard running the country at this point?
No, I do think that's very important. He is 86 years old, longest serving autocrat in the world, and one of the things that we didn't anticipate, we didn't know about.
Oh, this is Karim Sajjadpour. I think this guy is from Nayak. Iranians are saying yes. They're saying Are. Okay, you cannot trust this guy. Karim Sajjadpour. I think this is a Nayaki person. Yeah, okay. This guy is from Nayak. Okay, you cannot trust him. Okay, now this guy works for a lobby of the Islamic Republic. Why did they have him on Farid Zakaria?
And the night autocrat in the world, and one of the things that we didn't anticipate, we didn't know about in the 1979 Iranian Revolution was that the Shah of Iran had terminal cancer. So I think there's the interplay between three forces are very important. What is the physical and psychological health of the supreme leader? How cohesive are Iran's security forces? And what is the psychology of Iran's protesters? These things are all interrelated. If the security forces feel like the leader is faltering or he's dying, that may change their calculations.
And if the protesters see that the security forces or the regime is starting to splinter, or the leader is ailing, that could embolden them as well.
And it seems just like the
Why would they invite this guy? That guy is like works for the reformers. That guy, anybody associated with NIOC is basically the Islamic Republic's reformist wings lobby in United States. So why would they invite that guy?
previous Shah, the Ayatollah.
Yeah, people are saying, yeah, this is CNN for you. CNN at its best, exactly.
Them as well.
And it seems, just like the previous Shah, the Ayatollah may be preparing for a plan B. According to an intelligence report that was shared by the Times, Iran's Ayatollah has a backup plan to flee the country should his security forces fail to suppress the protest. He plans to escape Iran with his close circle of up to 20 aides and family members should the IRGC start deserting to, the other side. This plan includes his son, who's supposed to be the heir to the supreme leadership position in case the current supreme leader dies. Now, as many of you guys...
So guys, be careful, because we don't know if this information is true, because it might be the reformers who are leaking this information. Guys, please understand that the reformers who are part of the Islamic Republic, they are trying to eliminate Khamenei as a way for them to gain all the power. And their only obstacle is Khamenei. They're trying to do everything. And this might be a fake leak by the reformers just so that people within the regime, like especially IRGC forces, get the news and think that maybe their leader is abandoning them. So this might be not true. It might be because, guys, the reformers are the most cunning, evil motherfuckers in Iranian politics. Okay, they have their ways, and they are very, very clever, and they have their tentacles everywhere, including in America's in Washington D.C. So we really have to be careful about these stuff like this. You can't trust anything.
Leadership position in case the current supreme leader dies. Now, as many of you guys might have...
Remember, guys, we're right now dealing with an internal war. Because of the 12-day war that Israel, how successful Israel was in the 12-day war, they created a huge power vacuum that the reformers are trying to fill. Like when Israel came and removed all the heads, all the major leaders of IRGC, the power vacuum that was created after that has made the many people within the Islamic Republic turn against each other. And there has been so many backstabbing and planning and creating new networks and people allying with each other. People like it has been chaotic, and there are new allegiances and new friends and foes within the regime, and everybody is getting ready within the regime for what's about to come next. Everybody in the regime's understanding is that the current version of the Islamic Republic is about to fall. They all have accepted that. The plan is not to save the Islamic Republic as it is. The plan is to bring a new version of the Islamic Republic and save the Islamic Republic within a new format, rather than completely losing their entire structure and their entire wealth and military power and everything. That's why they're afraid of Pahlavi, because Pahlavi means the end of everything for them. So the hardliners, they are retarded. Okay, they don't know how to do politics. That's why every time they get full control, they realize themselves how retarded they are in politics, and they get forced to allow the reformers back in to save the Islamic Republic. And then the reformers piss them off. We go through this once every couple of years. Okay, so the hardliners allow the reformers to come have a piece of the politics, but their methods piss them off because the hardliners are really ideological, and then they kick them out completely. And then they realize, like, oops, but we don't know how to do politics. And then they allow them back in, and then they get pissed off by what to do, and they kick them out again. and then they realize that, oh wait, we don't know how to do politics, and then they bring their reformers back in. Okay, so we go through this once every couple of years within. But now the reformers are tired of just being used to save the Islamic Republic every once in a while and then be pushed aside when they're not needed. Now that Israel has came in and created such a big power vacuum, they think they're in a position to just take the whole thing. And remember, the reformers have zero power. They are very cunning. They have a lot of networks. They have a lot of tools, but they have zero military and economic power. They only have the best political methods, but they have almost, compared to the supreme leadership and to the IRGC, they have zero military and economic power relative to them. But they know that so there's now a competition between IRGC and the office of the supreme leadership. These two are now against each other, and the IRGC cannot wait to get rid of Khamenei so that they could be ruling Iran completely without and making the office of the supreme leadership something that is not that important. That's what they want, right? So the reformers, given that they have no financial and no economic power, they are trying to be useful to IRGC by being the new paint job of the third republic. The first republic was Khomeini. The second republic is Khamenei. And the reformers know that IRGC needs a new brand, a new cute and cuddly, not very dangerous looking, modern looking, woman friendly, not terrorist funding look for IRGC to be able to survive the transition of the Islamic Republic into the third phase of the Republic. And they want to make themselves useful, even though the IRGC hates the reformers, hates them. They want to make themselves useful enough for a new paint job for the Third Republic. And that's the power. And the 12-Day War created such a power vacuum that made this a lot easier for the reformers, right? And the only thing that is now holding them back is Khamenei, okay? And we need them held back, because this revolution is not meant to go to the reformers. It's meant to go to Pahlavi. That's why we need Khamenei to just be alive for a little bit longer to hold them back. Oh no, we got a super chat. Is this informative, guys? Like, is this too nuanced, or is this good? Let me know if I'm getting into too much detail in Iranian politics. We got a super chat saying best wishes and hopes for Iranian people. Well, thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for the support. And it was from Israel.
Guest, he plans to run to Moscow. And let me explain why. You see, Putin recently opened this new service called Airbnb for dictators. And apparently it has been a huge hit. Of course, Assad is there. He's just enjoying his life, and his whole entourage is there. Now, Maduro could not make it there in time, but based on reports we are seeing, some people from the Maduro regime are taking advantage of this service. And if the need arises in the next few days, Ayatollah Khamenei will be the new guest joining this brand new establishment. Now, it's interesting that this report comes out at this time, because all the while the supreme leader is...
You know what? Like, I don't know. I can see Putin in taking in Khamenei, given that, like, I mean, what is Israel going to do about it anyways if they're unhappy?
Trying to flee the country, the Iranian parliament is actually threatening the US troops. Take a look at this report. You see, just recently, President Trump put out this tweet. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the US will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Now, of course...
See, this is good. This is good. We appreciated this. Hold on, we got a super chat. We got a super chat saying, we say next year in Jerusalem, so next year in Iran. Yep. That's I actually have been repeating the exact same line, using that that Jewish line. I explained that on my Persian channel, that Jews say, they have been saying for hundreds of years next year in Jerusalem, and we say that too now as Iranians. Oh, we got another super chat saying, "What's the story with Giuliani and Telegraph article against Pahlavi?" Giuliani has been bought by the MEK. Very good question. Very good question. Giuliani, Pompeo, John Bolton, Mike Pence. Who else? Anyone else? These Republicans have been bought by the MEK, which is a Marxist Islamic cult. So Giuliani supports Maryam Rajavi, which is weird because Maryam Rajavi is the leader of the MEK, and the reason why he's anti-Pahlavi is because he gets a lot of money from Maryam Rajavi's organization, which is the MEK, and Maryam Rajavi and the MEK are extremely anti-Pahlavi. That's why he's anti-Pahlavi. He goes there and speaks, and they pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars every time he speaks, right? So it's so bizarre that these so-called conservative Republicans, the ones that I mentioned, are supporting the MEK, given that the MEK, and I'm not exaggerating, they're at the same time Marxist and Islamist. So think about this. We have American Republican conservative politicians supporting Maryam Rajavi and his cult, which is at the same time both Marxist and Islamist. Amazing. Oh, wait. Shauna gave us a super chat saying is basically the two shittiest ideas on the planet had a baby. Okay? The two shittiest ideas on the planet had a baby, and it was what came out was the MEK. Hold on. Shauna with a super chat saying Israelis and Iranians will dance together again. I hope so. What a beautiful dream. What a beautiful dream. And it's not a dream anymore. It's reality. Thank you so much, Shauna. We'll see that day. We'll see that day. We'll see that we will see Iranians and Israelis dancing together right next to the tomb of Cyrus the Great. Right in the resting place of Cyrus the Great, close to Shiraz. Okay, that's what we will have. We will have right around his tomb. We will see the flags of Israel and the flags, the lion and sun flag of Iran. But we'll see a sea of that flag, all next to each other around that. We'll see that. That's what we're gonna see. Okay. Oh, so let me actually respond to this tweet by Trump, this was a very, very helpful tweet. Okay. And this is, as long as it just stays like this, it's good. Okay. We don't want any type of Maduro extraction type operation. Okay. This is really helpful. So when Trump came out and said, if Iran, meaning the Islamic Republic, shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to the rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Okay, this is helpful support because this scared the shit out of the armed forces, the anti-riot police. And just this post alone probably saved Iranian lives. Okay, so this level of support is very much appreciated. Okay, but I don't even need to say me, because the prince also came out and said that we don't need a Maduro type like removal of Khamenei, and the Iranian people will take care of that. Okay, because what happened in Venezuela, if it succeeds to ends up turning into a regime change, unfortunately, it wasn't the Venezuelan people who did this, right? We need in Iran, we need the revolution to be done by the Iranian people. We don't need the revolution to be done by the United States, and not even Israel. Israel has already helped out a lot. Okay, and just like Netanyahu and other Israeli politicians have said, the revolution has to be done by the Iranian people, because we also wanted the Iranian people need to also decide what comes after. If the revolution is done by America, for example, then they're going to decide what comes next. And it might not be the same thing that the Iranian people want. So we don't want that level of intervention. We don't want boots on the ground. We don't want them to take out Khamenei. We will take out, the Iranian people will take out Khamenei. Okay, because we want the revolution to be an Iranian revolution, so that what comes after is also decided by the Iranian people. And the Iranian people's decision is Pahlavi. Right? Let me know if that makes sense. I'm not saying we do not need support. I'm not saying we do not need support, and I'm not saying we do not appreciate support. We do need support, and we also appreciate support. But it needs to be surgical, it needs to be limited, and it needs to be only to the point where it helps the Iranian people do their thing. Okay? We don't need somebody to come do the revolution for us. But if you remove some barriers from some obstacles away from the path of the Iranian people to do the revolution, that support, we're very grateful for that. We're very grateful for that. And I'm pretty sure the Americans themselves prefer not to get more involved than this anyways, right? I mean, this post didn't cost anything, and it saved Iranian lives. This post didn't cost anything, and it saved Iranian lives. So this is really helpful support. Okay, so let's continue.
US will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Now, of course, the Iranian regime was not happy with this statement because it gave moral support to the protesters who were on the street. So the Iranian parliament...
By the way, the crowd sizes, guys, are increasing. It's crazy. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It gave moral support to the protesters who were on the street. So the Iranian parliament responded with a very foolish warning. The Speaker of Iran's parliament, basically the head, warned that all US military personnel and bases in the Middle East would be considered legitimate targets if President Trump made good on his claim that the US was locked and loaded. Now, this is where things get a bit interesting. And I truly think interesting is a very horrible word to use in this situation. But it seems over the last few days, the Iranian regime has started attacking protesters. Just 2 days ago, we got some footage from protesters that showed that the regime forces...
Emily, look at this. Emily Schrader. Look, guys, Emily is such a big deal that you see her everywhere. Guys, if you're on X, the two best people who are going to give you updates on X or on Twitter is Goldie Ghamari and Emily Schrader. Okay? Oh my God, how poetic. An Iranian woman and an Israeli woman. Okay? So these are if you want to get up-to-date updates from what's happening in Iran, these on X, these are your two sources. Goldie Ghamari and Emily Schrader. And it's especially because Goldie is in touch with the Iranian side, and Emily is she's a proper journalist, right? So one of them is a politician, the other one is a proper journalist, so she fact checks and everything. Okay, so these are the two best sources.
Just 2 days ago, we got some footage from protesters that showed that the regime forces were literally shooting at peaceful protesters who were filming the whole thing. And then last night, we got one of the most craziest footage so far. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to show this on YouTube, but in the Siraj city of Iran.
What? Shiraz.
I'll be able to show this on YouTube, but in the Siraj city of...
It's Siraj. How do you mispronounce Shiraz? Guys, it's the wine. It's the city. Have you guys drank Shiraz wine? Everybody knows what the Shiraz wine. How do you mispronounce that? By the way, guys, you know why the wine is called Shiraz? It's because it came from the city Shiraz before. Shiraz was a major source of wine before the Islamic Revolution. That's why they call it the Shiraz wine. And by the way, guys, I'm half Shirazi. My mom is from Shiraz.
And I'm not sure if I'll be able to show this on YouTube, but in the Siraj city of...
Siraj. It's Shiraz. How do you mispronounce two parts of it? How do you mispronounce two parts of it? And it's not Oh my God.
of Iran, the regime forces detained a man who was protesting, beat him up, and then basically unalived him using a gun. This was all captured on camera while they
Wait, what?
detained a man who was protesting, beat him up, and then basically unalived him using a gun. This was all captured on camera while they were carrying out the crime. Now, as you can imagine, this footage has made protesters very angry. So, because of these attacks that were happening on the protest,
So, guys, one thing I want to let you know about on the Persian channel, we do not on the Persian side, we do not report on the people who are being killed. Okay, so there has been a widespread agreement on Persian content creators that we are not going to highlight the people who are being killed. On the English side, we will, but on the Persian side, we won't. So for people who might be new here, I also have a Persian channel, and I'm very active on my Persian channel. And our audience is mostly in the Persian channel, or 80% of them are Iranians within Iran. And the reason why we have decided to do that is because we don't want to scare people and make them go back to their homes, okay? Because even though every single person's death is a tragedy, to be completely real with you, the number of people who have died this time is really, really lower compared to the previous protests, and the chances of anyone dying if they join the protest right now is close to zero. Given the number of people who are showing up and given the low level of response by the government, the chances of people dying is so low that this has turned into an almost zero risk, close to zero risk revolution. And we want to advertise this low risk level so that we could get more people out. So like last time we had this many people coming out, like in the bloody November, thousands of people were killed. Right now, the numbers are like 20, 30, right? So given how many people are coming out, that means that your chances of dying is so close to zero, especially because many of those 20 and 30 people who were killed, they were doing really extreme things. We're telling people, just come out. You don't need to go extreme things. You can, but if you're afraid, you don't even have to chant. Just make the streets busy. And we don't want to scare people, so we're not really highlighting. Like we had some Instagram accounts constantly showing, like, oh my God, look, they killed this person, and they were making it seem like so many people were dying, and not that many people are dying. And we need to tell Iranians that come out into the streets. That the risks have never been this low, and the reason why the regime is not responding as much is multiple reasons. First, because they're afraid of Israel and United States. Two, because of the 12-day war. They're very unorganized, and there's not that much of a command structure there, because of all the heads of IRGC were killed by Israel. So thank you, Israel. Israel has saved so many Iranian lives. Like, the fact that so many Iranians are not being killed right now is because of what Israel did in the 12-day war. So that is a major factor for why Iranians are not being killed right now, because there's not that many people within the command to give the commands or organize all of this, right? And also another reason is that the remaining officers are afraid to communicate with each other because they know Israel might attack any moment, and they don't want Israel to know where they are. And also because a lot of the armed forces are actually agree with the people because their lives are fucked as well. And what else? These are the things that I could think of for why you're not saying as much. But guys, this might change in the next 24 hours, because in the next 24 hours, the prince has gave out its call to action for Iranian people to come out 8 p.m. Thursday, 8 p.m. Iran time on Thursday. So that's less than let me see, what time is it right now in Iran? Right now it's 10:35 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, so so it's like TikTok. We're getting close We're getting close to the time that the Iranian people need to come out in high numbers. So we're going to see if the regime doesn't come out in response to the prince's call to action, if the regime doesn't come out in large numbers, like the anti-riot police doesn't come out in large numbers in response to that call to action, it could be seen as a complete surrender. It might mean that game over. It might mean game over. I don't know what's going to happen, but if the people show up in large numbers, 8 p.m. Iran time on Thursday, and if there's not that much of a reaction to that by the regime, that we might be seeing the beginning of the end of the Islamic Republic. So the next 24 hours are going to be historic for Iran. This might be the end.
Well, some of these protesters have now turned their focus to the bases that these forces were using. In Tehran, in the northwest of the city, the protesters have set fire to a building that was used by Iranian street-level forces. And all the while this is going on, there's actually something much more significant happening, especially in a country like Iran. Iranian women are removing their veil, basically their hijab.
What are you talking about? What is this channel? What do you mean they're taking off their hijab? What the fuck are you talking about? Iranian women are removing their veils? Is this video is 3 years, you're 3 years late. This video is from 2 days ago. They're not taking off their veil. They don't even have veils. They don't have veils to remove. You're how did this video got like 1 million views? That's from 3 years ago. Nobody is removing their veil because they're not wearing veils to begin with. That was the Mahsa revolution 3 years ago. That was the woman life freedom revolution. We're in a completely different phase of the revolution. What the fuck are you talking about? Iranian women are removing their veils? They didn't have veils to begin with. They don't have veils to take off. What the fuck is this channel? Oh my God. Does this guy think that we're still on that level? Like, oh, look, I took off my hijab. That battleground has been won completely for years now. The removal of hijab wouldn't make any points anymore. Women in Iran walk without hijab whenever they want to. It doesn't even have a symbolic. And in fact, in this round of the revolution, we consider anybody who wants to make this revolution about women life freedom or the hijab to be part of the Islamic Republic. What part of the reformers? Like anybody who comes and says women life freedom and tries to make this revolution a women life freedom revolution, they're trying to take us a step back, and they're part of the reformers. If you actually noticed, nobody in Iran is chanting women life freedom anymore. And nobody within the protesters are talking about hijab. That's over. That was a different revolution. That was a different phase of the revolution. And the people who want to keep it at that are the leftist feminists who are part of the reformers, who want to make this revolution about like a feminist revolution or something like that. Not about it. This is a Pahlavi revolution. This is not a feminist revolution. We're not doing women life freedom. This is not about the hijab. The women of Iran have already completely captured that battleground. We're moving. This is a completely different. We're not even talking about being anti-hijab, being about anti-Islam, being not even. It's almost not even about anti-Islamic Republic anymore. This is a pro-Pahlavi revolution. This is about bringing back Pahlavi to Iran. Let me see. No, Nailbun is saying there are still people who think women life freedom is still a thing. The Islamic Republic wants to make women, like, guys, if you are not, for people who are not following the daily politics in Iran, we are now in a phase where the Islamic Republic would be chanting woman, life, freedom itself, just so that we don't shout anything about Pahlavi. The Islamic Republic itself is trying to make this, what the Iranian people are doing right now, about women, life, freedom. That's where we are at right now. I hope you understand.
Right in the heart of the capital city, Tehran. And this is meant to be a symbolic protest against the Islamic morality police.
So, Torah, I think, given that the chat is busier than before, I think if people want to speak in different languages, let them, I think. What do you think? The admins could decide. Yeah, okay. I should talk to Tal Oran about Pahlavi. Maybe can you guys recommend to Tal to talk to me about Pahlavi, because I noticed some Iranians on our Iranian Discord server. Some Iranians were telling me that, Armin, we follow Tal because of you, and we've noticed that he's not mentioning Pahlavi at all. So maybe can you go tell Tal that we should do a show together? Just encourage him so that maybe if I ask him, he will say yes.
And of course, the IRGC. Now, I'm sure many of you guys remember just a few years ago, there was a big protest happening all across the country. Pretty similar to this one, and that was started because the Iranian morality police beat up a girl for not properly wearing a hijab. Then that girl...
What the fuck are you doing?
Pretty similar to Islamic morality police. And of course, the IRGC. Now, I'm sure many of you guys...
Wait, hold on.
And all the while this is going on, there's actually something much more significant happening, especially in a country like Iran. Iranian women are removing their veil, basically their hijabs, right in the heart of the capital city, Tehran. And this is meant to be a symbolic protest against the Islamic morality.
No, it's not. Nobody gives a shit about hijab anymore. Nobody gives a shit, and the morality police is not attacking anybody regarding hijab, at least not in Tehran.
Police, and of course the IRGC. Now, I'm sure many of you guys remember just a few years ago, there was a big protest happening all across the country. Pretty similar to this one, and that was...
No, it was not pretty similar to this one. That was a whole other thing. That was a protest against the Islamic Republic. This is not this revolution that we're in right now. Is not just against the Islamic Republic. It's for something. The Mahsa revolution was just a revolution against something. This revolution that we're in right now is a revolution for something. It's not just anti-Islamic Republic, it's also for Pahlavi. That's the major difference.
Started because the Iranian morality police beat up a girl for not properly wearing a hijab. Then that girl collapsed in the middle of the hospital and died. Now, the police claimed they never beat her up, but...
Wait, so hold on. I don't like when people tell me what to do. Okay, Toro. I'm sorry if I said anything. Guys, I don't know what did I do wrong.
In the middle of the hospital and died. Now, the police claimed they never beat her up, but when the autopsy was done, you could see she was internally bleeding. Well, this brutality gave rise to a very strong movement that seems to be still ongoing. Now, the Iranian regime was able to quell it last time using brutal violence, but this time it may be too little, too late. The reason I say this is because the US support seems to be increasing every single day. Just last night, President Trump actually made the first vocal comment. So this was not just a tweet. Take a look.
Very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
And on top of this, the US State Department account in Farsi, which is the language they speak in Iran, which is also called Persian. So basically the same language, but two different names. Well, that account has been tweeting a lot more in support of the protests that are ongoing. And that's not a common thing. And that's why I'm covering it. I'm not in a habit of just covering tweets, but this seems to be significant. But take a look at the clip they recently tweeted out.
Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't.
Now, of course, on the account, the tweet was translated or dubbed in Farsi, But I doubt these tweets are actually reaching the Iranian people because the regime has blacked out like the internet all across the
What are you talking about? This is a misinformation channel. Are you sure this is not about a different revolution? No, it's about this one. This is from now. No, the internet is not. If the internet is blacked out, if the internet is cut in Iran, then how is it that when I go live on my Persian channel, I have 1,000 people watching me live?
Iranian people because the regime has blacked out.
Like, oh, the Iranian people are not seeing this tweet. The Iranian people are seeing every fucking tweet that is coming from the US government in their support. Everything from Israel and United States is going viral on Iranian social media. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, Iranian people are not seeing this because they don't have internet. Are you fucking kidding me? How does this video got 1 million views? This video got 1 million views. The Iranian people are, in fact, maybe they're too much on the internet right now because they should be in the streets. What are you talking about? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Do you know, like, go on social media. The Iranian people are very present right now on social media.
Out like the internet all across the country. But luckily, there are a lot of smuggled in Starlink like stations. So there are people who are able to connect to the internet using Starlink.
Everybody is able to connect. They're all available to connect to internet. It just got slowed down a little bit recently, but they're online. What the fuck are you talking about?
Starlink. So that's a good thing. But
no, it's not because of Starlink. The actual internet is continuing to work. Not the satellite internet. The other internet, the non-satellite internet is still working right now. It's slower, but it's working, and they're online. They're watching me, like they're watching all of this right now. Everything is being shared. You're like, oh, the Iranian people haven't seen this tweet. Yes, they have. They see everything. They see it in lightning speed because as soon as it comes out, like as soon as one of these things happen, I get like 100 messages from people in Iran, like, Armin, did you see what Elon said? Oh my God, Armin, did you see what Trump said? Oh my God, Armin, did you see what Naftali Bennett said? Like Naftali Bennett posts something Iran related, and within half a second, I'm getting messages from inside Iran telling, like, holy shit, Armin, make sure you see this. Like, yes, I'm seeing this. What are you talking about? Like, oh, the Iranian people are in the dark. They're not seeing this.
In my opinion, it seems like these tweets and even these messages, they're not really meant for the people. I think they are more meant for the security forces or people around the Iranian leadership. And the goal
is like so much misinformation. This was one of the most, the videos that I decided to pick to show you today. I just decided based on which one in the past like couple of days about Iran had the most views. And this was like one of the highest ones. And it's a whole bunch of misinformation. What the fuck?
To basically have them stop supporting the leadership, because at the end of the day, the dictator, the Iranian Ayatollah, is telling.
Look, like somebody is watching from Iran right now. Yeah, and there's a whole. By the way, there was somebody from Iran that I just banned because he was spamming.
These security forces to shoot at their own citizens. They're not fighting a foreign nation here. They're shooting at Iranian people, and usually that's what happened in 1979. Usually the army, the security forces just say, hey, we're not going to shoot at the citizens anymore. And that's when the leadership has to flee the country. That's, in fact, exactly what happened in 79. And it could happen again. In fact, there is a clip of an Iranian officer, a police officer, burning a photo of Ayatollah Khamenei. Just take a look before I give my comments on the clip.
Oh my God, you better show what he wrote on the wall.
I'll be honest.
Mother. Look at this. Look at the caption. You know what he's writing on the wall? He's writing Javeed. Okay, so this is a fucking video of this is a video of a police officer that is writing Javeed Shah on the wall. And he doesn't mention that. He doesn't fucking mention that. The burning of Khamenei's picture is secondary. is not as important as the fact that he's writing Javid Shah on the wall. You motherfucker! Why are you not mentioning that? Javid Shah means long live the king, by the way, for people who are new here. That is more important. That is more of a red line. Saying long live the king is a much bigger deal and a much red line to cross in Iran than burning Khamenei's picture. And he doesn't even mention when people were saying Pahlavi will return, he had a mistranslation. He said that they're saying death to the dictator. Now that this police officer is writing long live the king on the wall, he's just like, oh, he just burned a picture of Khamenei. Who gives a shit? That is not as important as writing long live the king on the wall. Mention that. I hope he mentions that.
Khamenei. Just take a look before I give my comments on the clip.
Wait, isn't that Khomeini?
Give my comments on the clip.
That's Khomeini. Guys, that's a picture of Khomeini. Look, I can see it's Khomeini. Even though it's very small, it's not even Khamenei. So even the caption is wrong.
Of Ayatollah Khamenei. Just take a look before I give.
The caption is wrong. The video is wrong. And they're not mentioning long live the king. Even open source Intel identified the picture wrong. That's Khomeini. That's not Khamenei.
My comments on the clip.
Look, somebody Iranian is saying, yeah, it's saying, Khomeini. So you're saying, yes, that's Khomeini, not Khamenei. Everything about this wrong. Everything about all of this is wrong. Look, he takes out the spray to write long live the king and the wall. He doesn't mention.
Be honest, guys, that clip does look fake. It's like someone just set it up, covered their face, and made it for the internet. I don't know if that's actually happening in Iran, and that's the big problem, right? We don't exactly know what kind of defections are taking place, if there are any. But as of
look, he started writing Javid Shah on the wall. He didn't show
right now, even though protests are.
You're saying you don't know if it's happening? It is happening. It is happening. We have so many more videos than that. We have so many more videos of people in the metro station. We know those are from Iran, from the Artish, holding the lion and sun flag of Iran. So yes, I don't know if this is fake or if it's actually happening. Well, maybe you should do more fucking research.
Growing, it's not something that the forces cannot manage. But the problem for the forces is that the rate of growth, every single day, more and more cities are joining in on the protest. So there's going to come a point where it could grow too big to control. And that is something that the Iranian leadership is actually worried about. And on top of all this, something else could happen from outside. Take a look at this report. Just last week, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was in the United States, and his main focus was to meet with President Trump and talk about the Iranian ballistic missile program. Now, if you guys saw some clips from the 12-day war, well, Iran has a very strong ballistic missile program. They may not have nukes, at least.
No, they don't. How do they have a very... How do they have a very strong... No, they don't. It's pathetic. It's pathetically weak.
Iran has...
They spent 40 years building their missiles, and in the 12-day war, they couldn't even take out 30 Israelis. I think it was 29. They killed more Palestinians than Israelis trying to kill Israelis with their missiles.
It's a very strong ballistic missile program. They may not have nukes, at least yet, but the ballistic missiles...
By the way, this is actually true. Whenever the Islamic Republic tries to kill Israelis, they accidentally kill more Palestinians than Israelis.
Can do some real damage. And bad news for Israel is they're within the range. And on top of that, it seems Israeli air defenses, the Iron Dome and all the other air defenses they have, they don't seem to be able to stop all the ballistic missiles. And
you don't say. They're not able to stop all of them. Guys, they only stop just a mere 95% of the missiles coming at Israel. Only 9, like it's not all. It's not all. Wow. Like, oh, they have a very strong missile program, and Israel's defense forces, it's not going to be able to stop all of them. It only stops, like, why didn't you just say how much of it stops? Because It's very impressive that it stops 95 fucking percent, which is as close to a miracle as you could get. Like, oh, it's not good. Iran, they have a good missile program, but Israel doesn't have a really good defense program because it doesn't stop every single one of them. Is this a leftist channel? Is this a leftist channel that I'm watching? I don't get
And
it.
that means Israel wants to take out the program before Iran can make more of it. And based on reports, it seems like Iran is spending a lot of money rebuilding the ballistic missile program, all the while the country is going through a horrendous economic crisis. That's why
Yes,
when Netanyahu
it
came to
is.
the United States, it was kind of an important meeting, but there's so much going on in the world, it makes sense that many people overlooked it. But based on some reports that came out,
What? Wait, what?
Netanyahu came to the United States, it was kind of an important meeting, but there's so much going on in the world, it makes sense that many people overlooked it. But
Many people overlooked it. What are you talking about? We were obsessed with this meeting. What are you talking about? Many people overlooked it. People were like the isolationists, the neocons, Iranians, Israelis. This was widely reported on.
but there's so much going on in the world, it makes sense that many people overlooked it. But based on some reports that came out after the meeting, Trump may have approved plans for Israeli strikes on Iranian ballistic missile program. And that could be bad news, especially at a time when the protests are going on. But there's also the counterpoint. Israel probably doesn't want to get involved right now if there is a chance that the protesters can topple the regime, because Israel doesn't want to give the Iranian regime a reason to basically unite the people, basically rally against a flag effect, which we see.
Did he just say rally against the flag effect? Guys, isn't it rally around the flag effect that he meant?
The regime, because Israel doesn't want to give the Iranian regime a reason to basically unite the people, basically rally against a flag effect.
Rally against the flag effect? Isn't it rally around the flag effect? Or am I misremembering what this is? How do you rally against the flag? You rally around the flag. Wait, isn't it a rally? Am I misremembering the name of this effect? Hold on. Rally. Yeah, round. Yes, rally round the flag effect. You don't. If people. I mean, you should. Oh my God. Okay. How did you misremember the name of the flag, but also didn't realize that you missed? So you wrote that the script, and that was when you wrote down the script, you didn't realize that it was wrong. You read it while recording your video, and you didn't realize that it was wrong. And then you were editing the video, and at no point did you think to yourself, well, wouldn't people rally around their flag if they're going rather than against the flags? That seems kind of off. I don't know. This guy is not very. How is this such a big channel? Like, how is it at 2 million subscribers? So you could be a retard in politics and just have 2 million subscribers and just make videos that get 1 million views each, even though you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. And there was no rally round the flag, against the flag, in the flag, on the flag, under the flag effect in Iran. That was regime propaganda that a whole bunch of Western media believed, just because. So during the 12-day war, there was no rally around the flag effect. Okay. What actually happened is that the people who were happy that Israel was killing IRGC commanders, they could not celebrate it because they would have been arrested and executed for being a Zionist spy if they did. People were being arrested and killed, executed for being Zionist spies simply for supporting Israel, or sometimes being arrested just for liking a comment or being against, I don't know, the Islamic Republic's response or shit like that, right? That's how tense the situation was. So you have the people who support Israel being silent silenced it really extremely, and the government itself went and found people who say, "Oh, we were against the Islamic Republic, but now we are for it because foreigners are attacking us," and it just basically amplified those voices, the regime itself. And Western media just bought the regime propaganda. Like, oh no, there's a rally around the flag effect. Israel is making Iranians jump back into the arms of their own regime. Well, look at what's happening now. Was there, like, did that really happen? Look at this now. People are shouting Am Israel Chai in Iranian streets. So no. Okay, so shut the fuck up. This never happened. I mean, at least you don't have any evidence for it other than the regime's own narrative.
Which,
guys, I need to introduce my videos to more people, because I'm like this is a correcting, we need a correcting measure here. Okay, and I think like I am responding to a lot of misinformation about Iran. So let more people know that they need to come to this channel and listen to how I respond to this analysis on Iran, so that more people have the correct point of view about what's actually happening.
To basically unite the people, basically rally against a flag effect, which we see in a lot of countries where a country is attacked from an overseas power. The people forget about domestic problems and they focus on the outside problem. Well, Israel.
That doesn't happen in Iran, because our country was not attacked. Our regime, our occupying regime was attacked. So the Iranian people saw Israel as a liberating force, as we could see right now, because we're not being like, Iranian people thank Israel and give credit to Israel for the fact that they're not being killed in the streets in Iran right now. So you might be talking about other countries who they're with governments that is somewhat a reflection of their people. In Iran, our government is not really our government. It's an occupying force that is trying to consume Iran for the sake of building a pan-Islamic Shia empire outside of the borders of Iran. It has nothing to do with us. So attacking the Islamic Republic is not really attacking our country. It's as much of attacking our country as when Americans were fighting Nazis in France. If you consider that Americans attacking France, then this would be Israelis attacking Iran. So when Americans were killing Nazis on French soil, if you consider that to be an attack by America on France, then this would also be an attack on Iran by Israel.
May not want to give that opportunity, and maybe that's why they may not carry out the strikes anytime soon. Now, as if all this wasn't bad enough already, Iran saw what happened in Venezuela and how quickly it happened, and that has given the leadership more of a reason to worry. Not necessarily worry.
The leadership depends on which leadership you're talking about. The leadership that is rallying around Khamenei, they look at what's happening in Venezuela and they're worried. But there's also leadership around people like Rouhani or Zarif or Arakchi or maybe even Tajzadeh. Okay? They look at Venezuela and they are excited. People like Rouhani, they look at, so some people within the leadership of Islamic Republic are begging America to do what they did in Venezuela, in Iran.
That happened, and that has given the leadership more of a reason to worry. Not necessarily worry about the United States, but worry about their own economy, because some Iranian politicians are very publicly talking about how countries like Venezuela and even Syria collapsed because of how bad their economy was. These politicians are warning that the same thing could happen in Iran if the economy doesn't improve anytime soon. Because think about it, when the economy is bad, it's not just the public that's suffering. The riot police.
But we got a super chat saying Armin Persian chat. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is suffering, security forces are suffering, even the military personnel are struggling. And when people are hungry, they have less of a reason to put up with dictatorships. So definitely interesting times ahead in Iran. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to catch our future updates relating.
Do not hit the subscribe button with this channel. I'm going to remove. This is a shit channel, and I'm going to remove and I'm going to unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe. All right, so let me show you some videos. Look at the crowd sizes. This is in Elam. This is in a city that the Iranian people have completely taken over a city. Completely taken over a city. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. When I first saw this video, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, this is such a big crowd." This video is significant because it's not just one street. That's a city in Elam in Iran where the city has completely been taken over by the people. And I was like, "Oh my God, this video is going to go viral." I hope they mention, like, they do a Pahlavi chant. Because at the beginning, they were just saying, "Death to Khamenei, death to Khamenei." I'm like, "Oh my God, I hope this is one of those videos that has," because many of the videos is pro Pahlavi. And I was hoping that this is one of them. And then I was like, "Oh no, is this video all death to Khamenei? Does it not have any Pahlavi thing in it?" But then all of a sudden, so now they're saying Javid Shah, Javid Shah, and I was like, yes, yes. In the ending, they're like Javid, like, because I knew this is gonna go viral. This one is going viral, and it has Javid Shah in it, and I was like, thank you. So that's one video that is going viral everywhere, and I'm so glad that the last few seconds had Javid Shah in there. And then this video is also going viral. And by the way, guys, Goldie sent this to me specifically. She wanted to make sure I see this. I was so like, Goldie's in there. Goldie, like, Armin, make sure she showed this on your stream. I'm like, oh, my heart. I'm like, thank you, Goldie. Okay. Anyways, this one is going viral, and I downloaded it from Goldie. All right, so breaking from Iran, police in the city of Abdanan have defected and joined the side of the Iranian people. This was from January 5th. Actually, it's not January 5th. It's January 6th, because I know the person. Oh, actually, let me give you some context. The person that was speaking in this video, he said the date wrong because he was very excited. It was actually, he said the day before. The reports came out that the date is actually one day after than what the cameraman is saying. Okay, so I think this is from January 6th. So you can see, I don't know, it's hard to see, but you can see the armed forces at the roof. They're waving at people. Okay, so they're celebrating and waving at them. I mean, where are they? It's hard to see. Yeah. And the people are also like cheering the armed forces, because they're like cheering them back. So 15 is 16 Dema. Okay. The police have joined the people. The police have joined the people. Yeah, see, the Iranians in the chat are saying that he's giving the wrong date. Yes, exactly. I told them Farshad Beshon, go for it. Okay, some people, so that translates to January 5th. Okay. So the Persian date is wrong, but the English date might be correct. Oh my God, this one also have guys. I never watched this to the end because I thought this video does not have Pahlavi. Guys, you see how widespread the pro Pahlavi chants are? Like even this one, I didn't know this one has Pahlavi in it. Look at that. This one also says this is the final battle. In آخرین نبرد پهلوی برمیگرده. I never watched this to the end. I didn't know this one also has Pahlavi in there. So this is the in آخرین نبرد پهلوی برمیگرده, which means this is the final battle. Pahlavi will return. Okay. By the way, guys, there are a lot of leftist scum with their accounts trying to that they're sharing like Iranians. So people like Masih Ali-Nejad, Tumar Saleh, Nargis Mohammadi, okay, Taron Ali Dusti, these motherfuckers, they're trying to, even if they mention these protests, they're trying to either hide or reduce the pro-Pahlavi part of it. Masih Ali-Nejad, she was, for a couple of days, she was looking at the few videos that don't have Pahlavi in them and only sharing them for the first few days. So most of the videos that are coming out, they have Javid Shah or Pahlavi will return or something, or King Reza Pahlavi, stuff like that in there, pro-Pahlavi chants. And she was going out and looking for all the videos that don't have Pahlavi in them, and that's what she was sharing. And then people called her out. I was like, you motherfucker, you jealous motherfucker. What the fuck? You're censoring the voice of the Iranian people just because you hate Pahlavi, right? And I think then she started to post like just a few Javid Shahs here and there, and then not at all, and then just one more, but then not at all. Okay, just one or two there, so she could say like, well, I posted that one, right? But right after she was called out after a few days, and people like Tumaj are just going out there and be like, oh, people, we should be united, not mentioning anything about Pahlavi or the people's chants. Don't trust these motherfuckers. Don't trust the leftists, like in Iran right now. Don't trust anybody who is not supporting Pahlavi. Okay? They are trying to censor the voice of the Iranian people. Nobody, like, you have to do two checks on people as a foreigner. What's their view on Israel? What's their view on Pahlavi? Don't trust anyone who has anti-Israeli views, and don't trust anybody who has anti-Pahlavi views. Make sure you check these two things before you trust anybody, okay? And even then, don't trust 100%, okay? But do at least these two tests on them to make sure that they're not one of those people who might be against this current form of the Islamic Republic, but they're still in line with the core foundational ideology that started the Islamic Republic, okay? A lot of these people might even agree that the 1979 Islamic Revolution was the right thing to do. It just went in the wrong direction. Fuck those people. Anybody who defends the 1979 Islamic Revolution is a traitor, is anti-Iranian. Even if like there are different versions of these people, okay? So there are people who support the 1979 Islamic Revolution. They support Khomeini, but they don't support Khamenei. They're anti-Khamenei, but they support Khomeini. For example, Mir Hossein Mousavi is one of those people, okay? Or like people like Tajdeh. Then there are people who are anti-Khamenei. They're also anti-Khomeini, like some commies, for example, Iranian commies. But they think that the 1979 Islamic Revolution was the right thing to do against the Shah because they're anti-Shah and anti-Pahlavi. Fuck all of these people, okay? So just because somebody is anti-Islamic Republic, that's not good enough, because they might be against this version of Islamic Republic, but they still support the core values of the 1979 revolution. They think that it was an anti-imperial, anti-bourgeoisie revolution, and it was a good thing. It just went the wrong way. Okay, so you have, if the best way to check, make sure they're supporting Pahlavi and Israel. Okay, that's what you need to check. So no to the MEK, no to the fucking leftists, and no to the mullahs, especially the mullahs who do not look like mullahs. Okay, especially the mullahs with suits and ties. Okay, especially the mullahs who are women without hijab. These are the reformers. They are basically, we call them Akhunde Keravati, which means a mullah in a suit. These are the reformers, okay? Those are the mullahs that you have to look out for. Anyways. Oh, thank you. Guys, I get into some level of nuance that you will only see on Persian channels, okay? This level of nuance on Iranian politics is not seen on English media. We're getting like really deep here. Really, really deep. Like this level of, detail on Iranian politics, nowhere. Let me see. And I know all of this because I spend most of my time on my Persian channel and our Persian Discord server following Iranian politics on a daily basis. So that's why I am this deeply involved. Anyways, guys, we need to go to our discussion group in 10 minutes. So I need to give you the link to it. So just come and look at the calendar and look at today's event and join our discussion. So guys, our discussion group is becoming a strategic think tank, or it's becoming a foundation. Like I'm actually really happy where this is going. You guys should come to our discussion group. We have really good discussions there. We have group calls every day, and our next group call is going to start in 10 minutes. But it's becoming a base of operation. Like I'm hoping, what I'm trying to do with the discussion group is to grow it to a point where all of you, it becomes a place where we come up with strategy, and we're not just talking. At some point, once we grow, we come up with like actions that we could take in the real world to somehow have more of an effect on politics. But right now, it's a discussion group. At some point, it's going to turn into a base of operations for liberty against Islamism, against wokeism, against communism, and against the woke rights, like fascism, like the Nick Fuentes type people. Okay, so come join that group. I put the link in the chat. The link is also in the description. And our next discussion is starting. Our next group call is going to start in 10 minutes. And yeah, you don't have to open your camera, and you don't even have to open your mic if you don't want to. You could just come and listen, or you could open your mic and speak, but you don't have to open your camera if you don't want to. You can if you want to, though. All right, guys, I'm gonna go get ready for that. And guys, victory is near. Victory is near. Just keep an eye on the news in the next 24 hours, and we're gonna go live same time tomorrow. And hopefully I have good news. Okay? So please support the Iranian people as much as you can, because we're just this close. We're this close to the finish line. Oh my God. Okay. So please, we need all your support. I appreciate everyone here. Let's make it happen. Okay? I'm Israel Chai, Javid Shah. See you tomorrow. Oh, and that's for the discussion group. All right, guys. Mwah. Javid Shah.